Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. Sometimes overspending happens. And things come up. Things come up. For example, I'm recording this on my smartphone as opposed to my 4K camera. That's because at the time I'm recording it, the receiver for my lapel mic wasn't working. So I had to order new ones, but the show goes on. But stuff can happen. Yeah, you can have that budget. And as much as I talk about a budget, got everything planned out, sometimes little things happen. Now, okay, I still plan out for, some technical emergency, but it's still annoying. But stuff comes up. And sometimes, even no matter how diligent you are, overspending can happen. Overspending can happen. And I'm going to tell you what, the most common way, like I mentioned, there was a technical difficulty that I have to take care of. But like I said, I was kind of prepared for those anyway. But it can happen in a very simple way. Very simple. Well, two ways. One, you just spend a little bit extra money, especially in this time of inflation. You look up and it's like, wait a minute, this stuff is costing a little bit extra money than I want to be spending. Like that can sneak up quick because like with the food going up, you might not think about it because they ain't going to just go from, I don't know, $5 to $10. At least I hope not. But it'll go up a little bit and you don't think about it. You might not think about it at first because you just, you used to buying certain things, you get it. But then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, this food costing more, And thankfully the gas prices are going down, but it's still the same thing. You spend a little bit more. You just like, wait a minute, hold up. You plan for it, you try to, but it could catch you sometime, and then just life happens. Life, like you can get like something small where you spending some money and you ain't thinking about it, and it's just a little bit here and there. You're thinking, shoot, I can handle it, but then it adds up. Like always, remember, pennies adds up. And then you look up, it's like, wait a minute, something ain't right here. And it's nothing wrong. It happens. You could have an emergency or you need to do something, you get thrown off. Somebody could go to the hospital. I remember there was a big issue with my son one time. Man. I ain't going to get into it, but we had to take him to the hospital. And, I'm spending some money I usually wouldn't spend, at the expensive. Well, it ain't that expensive. I'm thinking about like a sports stadium. But, you spend a little bit extra. And sometimes it could all happen. And it's going to happen every now and then. But sometimes it could happen in a short period. Or you might not be able to keep up as much because so many things are happening. Say you do have something happening with the family. And you have some other distractions. Because it happens. It happens every now and then. You're always going to have multiple distractions. All of a sudden you're thinking, oh, I got the money, but then you look up, you're like, man, here's what you do. Oh, and another thing that can get you caught up too, credit cards. Like always say, always say when you spend money, you use the credit cards, always have the money to pay for it. But even there, it can be some overspending. It's a credit card, and you just think, oh, yeah, I got it. Even if you follow my advice and never pay just the minimum, pay more. It's still money, and it's still there. You're just like, wow. And it happens. This is what you do when you catch yourself doing it. Because I caught myself doing it. It's a lot of stuff. I don't tell you everything going on, but everything's okay now. I'll leave it at that. But, you just sit back and say, and you start thinking, do I really need that extra meal? Do I really need to work to get something from that restaurant? You automatically start thinking, what should you be working on? Or what can you do? Like, just start thinking, okay, what can I cut? You know what? I don't need to get that. I don't need to go to that restaurant. I'll just make the burgers. I'll get some burgers and fries and make them. Like when my sons, like one son, he'll go to a restaurant. He always gets the same thing. And I was just like, dude, why do we keep going to these different restaurants? And you only get the same thing. Now my other son, he's an adventurous eater. He will try anything. So he gets something out of it. But the other one was just like, man, come on. So I'm like, you know what? We're going to take one day out and not go. I'll just cook some stuff. Like think about where you can cut back and then get it back under control. And look, let me be. I also use the word control, but it don't necessarily mean that you're are taking it to another level and just going crazy. Now, if you get to the point where it's not like a few dollars here and there, but it's $1,000 or something here or there, you might want to look at some other things. You might want to take some other things into consideration. Because you're going to be like, well, wait a minute, hold up. Why am I spending this much money like this? But it happens. Life happens. You just take your time and get it back under control. Don't make it a habit. See, it only becomes a problem when it becomes a lifestyle. Like, there's nothing wrong with splurging here and there, or you spend a little bit extra money, or, you do something. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when it becomes a lifestyle, that's where the problem comes. Because you got a lot of people in otherwise poor areas, they actually got money. They got plenty of money, but they're not disciplined in it. And it's not even a case of they just slipping up. This is just what they do. Then all of a sudden they broke again. Nah, but that's something else. And I hope if you like following my advice, you're not doing that. But I have to be realistic on the other end. It's going to be sometimes you're overspending. It's just going to be. Yeah, it was only like a week or so for me. So I was just like, I don't really need that. And, I don't need to go to that food truck, one of the food trucks they always have in my community. Oh, man. I don't need that. See, like I say, generally, the only thing I splurge on maybe, though, is food. And it's not even a lot of food. And then, helping some family members out with some stuff. But other than that, no. Because in general, everything, I say 95% of what I spend money on is an investment. I even got a new shirt for some of my Sunday videos. Since I'm going to be doing them, it's an investment. I'll probably never wear it out in public. Y'all see the shirt. But it happens. Like, don't beat yourself up over it. If you just notice it, just say, okay, let me cut back. Let me get everything back in sync with each other. Let me get everything back in sync. And then you just go forward from there. So, it happens. But you know what? Like I always say, you still want to be in a position to even have that money. So, y'all know what to do. Let's go make that money.